Just kind of fit into our motto of just giving back to the community.
Stone Brewing is one of several breweries throughout San Diego and across the nation, answering the call by Chico-based Sierra Nevada Brewing. They're using beer to raise money for the victims of the Camp Fire.
100% of the proceeds, everything sold, will just be donated to Sierra Nevada's Camp Fire Relief Fund.
That's 100% of beer sales, not just the profits. Sierra Nevada actually shared the recipe for its Resilience Butte County Proud IPA with any brewery willing to make the beer. The staff at Stone Brewing quickly got to work.
We dropped everything we were doing just to brew this beer. It means a lot. So pretty much the majority of the breweries, I think there's 1,000 across the United States that are doing this, all brewed on the 27th, which was yesterday. And we dropped everything we were doing to do it. It takes about 5 to 6 hours on our brew process. We're brewing the second batch today because we double batch everything we do. And then the fermentation process will take about 5 days approximately. Then we got to do the dry hop. So the beer will be in the fermenter for about 12 to 14 days, and then we'll move it on to our serving tanks and keg from there and send it out.
Stone isn't the only brewery in San Diego to join this unique fundraiser, and you can taste the different takes on the recipe and special experience at each participating brewery in San Diego you visit.
But there's also a lot of other great breweries that are doing it in San Diego, so it'd be kind of fun for everyone to try the different takes of this recipe that are going out there. You know, we have the house flavor that we have with our yeast and our water and our brewing technique, so it'd be fun to try all the other beers that will be doing it.
The good thing is you won't have to wait too long to get your hands on this one-of-a-kind beer. Stone plans to have it on tap just in time for Christmas.
In order to try the Stone version of it, you'd have to come to our Stone Brewing World Bistro and Gardens, either in Escondido or Liberty Station, or any of our tap rooms located throughout San Diego. We're even going to send some up to Pasadena for all those that are up in LA. Should be on in a couple weeks. I'm shooting for the week of the 17th or the 22nd for our release over here.
For the 13 years I've known Steve, if I were to sum up his attitude, his tenacity, his mantra, it would be, it's not a matter of if we will accomplish the goal, it's only when. It's not a matter of if he will block the punt, it's when.
You just heard from New Orleans Saints quarterback Drew Brees. He's describing his former teammate Steve Gleason, who became the first NFL player to receive the highest civilian honor awarded by Congress, the Congressional Gold Medal. Gleason played 7 seasons in the NFL, all of them with the Saints. However, he's most remembered for the most dramatic moment in the team's history.
Morton Anderson is here for most field goals. Look out, right through! A pick block by Steve Gleason. It is scooped and scored by Curtis DeLoach. Touchdown, New Orleans!
It was the first game for the Saints in the Superdome after being rebuilt following the severe damage the stadium suffered during Hurricane Katrina in 2005. That play would help rally a city fighting to rebuild from the devastating aftermath of the storm. But little did Gleason know he would have a much bigger fight on his hands.
And then noticed an email pop up from Steve Gleason. 3 minutes later, with tears rolling down my face, I looked at Joe Vitt in the seat next to me and choked. Steve Gleason has been diagnosed with ALS. We were both in a state of shock, numb to the core. Of all the people on this earth, Steve is the last person to ever deserve something like this. Steve was as blunt and raw and honest as he could be in that email, detailing his diagnosis, but also acknowledging that he was scared and frustrated. But at the end, Steve said, and I quote, "I promise to fight and believe and expect the extraordinary, and smile and laugh and cry and love our lives for every breath that remains in my body."
Gleason was diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease in 2011, and today Congress honored him for work he's done to help people suffering from ALS.
We come here today to honor Steve Gleason, a true American hero, a leader of outstanding courage and unmatched resolve, who has inspired a nation and transformed the lives of millions of people living with ALS.
Gleason spearheaded the effort to pass the Steve Gleason Act of 2015. That law helps ALS patients get access to technology that helps them communicate with others as they lose the ability to speak and move.
I feel that this honor represents some joy, encouragement, and even triumph for the tens of thousands of extraordinary families currently enduring life with ALS. Also, the millions of extraordinary people in this country living with disabilities or other illness.
Well, I think Duncan Hunter has made a decision that although he could probably beat most of the charges, maybe all of them, that the impact to his family was going to be huge.
It is one of the hottest contested seats in the upcoming 2020 election. And today, candidates for the 50th Congressional District spoke about six-term Congressman Duncan D. Hunter's decision to plead guilty in his campaign finance violations case.
Clearly, Duncan Hunter made mistakes. Clearly, some of the charges were charges for expenses that might otherwise not have been considered to be unacceptable. And in most cases, this kind of an offense would be dealt with administratively. In this case, though, he's facing serious time. He's facing a problem of a trial, and he's made a decision on behalf of himself and his family. And hopefully we just realize that it wasn't an easy decision for him, and that his service in the Marine Corps and then in Congress was otherwise good service.
GOP candidate Carl DeMaio felt the distraction of Representative Hunter's trial could move the lone Republican seat in San Diego County into the hands of Democrats.
With this plea of guilty, Congressman Hunter is showing that no one is above the law, that politicians have to follow the same laws as the rest of us, and it gives his constituents, the voters, a fresh start, someone who can represent them in Congress without the distraction of a criminal trial. More importantly, we needed to make sure that we saved this seat and that the seat is represented by a conservative fighter, someone who's going to take on the Washington special interests, who's going to try to drain the swamp, who's going to back up President Trump. Those are the things that the voters of this district want to see, and it's not possible when you have a congressman with a criminal investigation, a criminal trial hanging over his head.
The lone Democrat in the race, Amar Campa-Najjar, fared well against Hunter in the 2018 election. He believes it's a sad day for the 50th district, but sees it as an opportunity for closure and a chance to move forward.
My thoughts are with him and his family. I want to thank him for serving our country in the military in uniform. Unfortunately, he lost his way along the road. And I think now, more important than anything else, we need a congressman who will pick up the pieces and move our district forward. And it's a sad day to see Duncan Hunter, be pleading guilty tomorrow. But I think it's best for the district that we move on and have real representation.